Hey there, today we're going to discuss about pointers and expressions. So let's get started. Let me maximize this editor, and as you can see I have this file created, ex44 underscore pointer expressions.c, and I have this statements added ahead of time. So pointers can be used in expressions just as any variable. Arithmetic operators can be applied to whatever the pointer is pointing to. So for example, we have two variables, x and y. We have initialized x, the value 5, and then we can create the pointer. So let me just type this in real quick. So in this example I have this variables and pointers created, and we initialize and modify the value. So before we explain this, let's just run this real quick. Right click, compile and run. So p is pointing to the value 13, which is correct. So let's break this down. We created the x variable, we initialize it, we put a value to x5, and then we declared y variable, and then we also declared and initialized the pointer. So for the pointer we assign the x address. So p has now the address of x, which has the value 5, and then in here we updated the value of y. So y has now the value of this expression, so pointer plus 2. So this will assign 7 to y. Let me just put a comment in here. Y is assigned 7. So on line 12 we modified y, we add and assign the pointer. So the result would be y is assigned assigned 12, since we add and assign the value of the pointer, which is 5. Since in here it was 7, so we initialized 7 to y, and then in here we add and assign the value pointer. So the value pointer was 5. Next, on this statement, on this line, what do you think is the value of pointer? Well, this time it is still the same, so x is assigned 12, since this is pointing to the x, a variable. And on this line, what do you think is the result of incrementing the pointer? Well, this time x is incremented. Let me just undo this. Is incremented to 13. So if you remember, x is assigned to 12, and then we put the increment operator outside the parentheses, so this will increment the value of x. So it will increment, so this time this line is going to increment the value of x, so it's going to have the value 13, and then p is pointing to the value of the pointer, and when we run this we get the result of 13. As you can see, it is correct. So note that parentheses are required in this line. I want you to note that parentheses are required for the increment operator to increment the value being pointed to. So this is really, if you want to increase the value of the pointer, you make sure that you put the parenthesis before this increment operator, or this plus sign. So the same is true when using the minus minus or the decrement operator. So that's it for this video, and before we wrap up, let's test your knowledge. I have here a little exercise for you in this tab. So which is true pointers? Can you tell me which one is the correct answer? So the question is, which is true for pointers? Is it A, pointers are storing the values of variables, or B, pointers can be used in expressions just as any variable, or C, pointers are useless and make programmers' lives a nightmare? If you know the answer, please feel free to put it in the comment section below. Thank you.